Welcome to Skywalker Channel, people. This is where good coffee makes bad people feel bad, and it's not a bad thing. Today, I am roasting a bitter one for you, especially comrades that believe they can fool us by pretending like they don't know better than SHIT spells sugar. The foolish things they tell you all day that cannot even withstand a fact check. Yet, when you tell them the fact that they cannot disprove, they still believe that they have an argument, or at least they try to make it appear like it's some kind of rocket science where the fact is so technical that you just have to believe them. Like they want you to be dependent for definition, and then they just say the thing and you believe. That's always where the trickster is. That's always how the trickster works. You don't want, the moment you start gunning for facts, they become angry and start behaving in that emotional way. I figured them out. They are looking for pork barrel rewards, and that's it. They have their influencers armed with lies and propaganda and given a mandate to deceive the entire country for Mark Golding. But there is a reward for selling out. It took me quite a while to figure out why intelligent people keep saying stupid things. They have some reason to believe that they will be personally rewarded if the PNP goes into power. And that's what the PNP always does. Like I watched that interview with the finance minister and Dian. Dian disingenuously changing both the rhetoric and the meaning of the minister's statement, plus the value of the difference between lesser than or greater than. Her tact was to demean what is more than nothing. You know, it was like to say that it is nothing, but it's more than nothing. That's the fact. I figured it out. I remembered seeing an Oral Tracy video. Was shocked by it because I heard of a forensics report, and I knew that once you came from under a forensic report, you should automatically be seen as spotless, almost literally. Yet he was actually accusing the man of illicit enrichment, hmm, when it was actually obvious in all the reports combined, and more than all in the forensic report, that this man was clean as far as anyone could see. This man can read and analyze. Oral Tracy is a trained reporter. I knew something was wrong because I heard him speak common sense before. So I know he have sense. The Bible describes this careless Ethiopian behavior as going a whoring, Judasing your own and believing it will bring you benefits for your children by cheating the legacy of other people's children, similar to what Finsack did. There was no way to equate someone who is giving with someone who only takes, yet the evilest and meanest person has a few that loves him and believes he is kind. This way his agenda is certain, and that few, because of what they expect to gain, will sell the rest of the people. These few can sway the majority their way because they are chosen for their ability to influence. So just choose a few that can influence and give them a lot, but only promise the people, the masses. You don't have to fulfill the promises to them. We live on earth for the purpose of choice. And this choice, our own choice, is our judgment. Oral Tracy made one video that turned me political, but not in support of the party he was supporting. Why? because I hate evil things like word witchcraft and sorcery, especially when it becomes the betrayal of a people. News medias are there to ensure there is the actual facts that both sides will work with. God and history record these judgments, and they are so obvious. These people get so carried away that they become so obvious and then so feminine and angry when someone finds it out. We often hate when we receive what we ask for. Why? Because if we were disingenuous, unfair, or greedy, and especially if we would sacrifice other persons for selfish gains, we only see what fills our eyes, not the emptiness we bring to other people's lives. So we cannot see why that judgment is unfair or fair. I stepped in to speak against the evil, not just Michael Holness and his family, even children drawn into the heat to be crucified with their parents. This was so dark and awful. I was more so looking at the majority of the people, some not even knowledgeable enough to understand the truth, or if water is wet, they are dependent for definitions. All they know is to listen to their influences and say what they tell them to say. If black people have been through all this and come here to be the same thing now against their own people, their judgment in the age of Aquarius is going to be swift. Are you paying it forward like what you received, the oppression you received from the white man, you're now turning it upon your own people? It can never be condoned. Do not lie to the people in order to use them against themselves. What you sow, you will reap. Do you want to have an entire nation suffering on your back? Decisions are challenging. Even when they come with temptations at times, some people will not even correct themselves or control their own vain impulses because of greed. So, someone told you what you will personally receive, although you see what will happen to the majority and you know it will by experience, but you don't care. It is your choice because you think. Yeah, you can't just do whatever you like. So it's just your choice. Still, look how far you will go. That's what you must think about. How far will you go? PJ Patterson resigned from Michael Manley's cabinet in December 1991 amidst the growing controversy of the Shell waiver scandal. This scandal involved allegations of impropriety in granting tax waivers to Shell Company, which led to public outcry and distrust. Patterson famously declared, "I shall return," echoing General Douglas MacArthur. PJ did badly, and it was obvious he did badly. Yet, Jamaican people will choose sentiments over logics, like we can sing or dance the best, or say the most insulting word, but it has nothing to do with intelligence or how to run a country. Don't we see it every day? Who more stylish? Not who know most, not who does it better. No one person in the PNP party has any sense about political leadership. They don't even know how to make a proper plan, but they can make stylish lyrics and propaganda more than the JLP. The last time I saw a video with Phillips presiding over a gathering where a house was being given to the needy, I was sick. The feminine mode behavior and hysteria over logic and sobriety made me wonder what will become of our country. A leader must be able to behave with calculative or practical masculinity, which the women in the JLP do with ease, transitioning between modes, but the men in the PNP cannot do this because they are trapped in the feminine, emotional, and the logical mode, which is mostly sentimental and passionate, blurring any sense of logic. Just like if someone go, and question Oral Tracy about his misdoings. Anger and rage are not masculine traits. Most comrades will just attack you all day with SYMs and other dirty expletives. Feminine rage. These are feminine traits. I tried to explain this in a past video. Feminine mode does not mean you are female. It is a completely different principle. It is a universal way that sentient beings balance their intellectual responses to fit the subject as masculine and feminine, not meaning male or female. It is because we are wise and we are sentiment, and it is our response to varying conditions, things that have to do with practical reasoning. Being miseducated in our divine sense, many people believe that these modes have anything to do with sexes. There is no good sense for a leader to incite divisiveness or polarize a people against themselves at any time. In no way can the end justify the means in this case. Jamaicans are vain people, as if that will help. We do not know how a society must operate, but we don't care. We want our independence. Though empty barrels cannot fill a little cup, people, no matter how big and loud they are. No, they cannot fill a little cup. You are too stylish and you choose style above intelligence. You have to wear what everybody is wearing, bleach like everyone else, and chop your pants too because you just watch, imitate, and refuse to think. It doesn't make sense. True to his word, Patterson returned just a few months after he was removed for corruption and illicit enrichment. On March 30, 1992, he was sworn in as Jamaica's sixth Prime Minister, succeeding Michael Manley. Patterson went on to become Jamaica's longest serving Prime Minister, holding office until 2006. He would do whatever it took to hold on to power, even if it meant the empowering of gangs. No way can the end justify the means. Just look at us now. Just look at us now. No way can the end justify the means. And PJ Patterson is coming for accolades. Today, at this time, this reflection on the public's skepticism and their continued support for the People's National Party, despite concerns about corruption, is a fascinating commentary on political loyalty and human behavior. It's a reminder of how deeply entrenched party allegiance can be, even when faced with potential risk. History often repeats itself in such patterns, doesn't it? And it must be obvious that the people do know what those they choose will do, especially when they have seen it before, like with Mark Golding, for example. They lament the evil they asked for when they received it, just like they were lamenting Finsack with Mark Golding and all hell breaking loose with PJ Patterson. But because they are comrades, they would vote for them again, and then they will suffer and fall. Instead of using the truth as the guideline for making decisions, they try to change the truth. They choose these sentimental emotions over practical truth because, for some reason, Jamaicans and their slave descendant counterparts live in a feminizing emotional mindset that has hardly any bearing with masculine traits. No practicality at all. They scream and curse, insult, and make accusations, even knowingly utter lies and propaganda to make sure their party wins. They simply repeat propaganda and lies as if thinking that it will just automatically change what the truth is. It has nothing to do with right or wrong but tribal sentiments. It's crazy psychology. Countless JLP politicians were forced to give up foreign citizenship because they were rightfully challenged by the PNP to do so. Edward Siaga voluntarily declared his dual citizen status and promised to give up his US citizenship. He did so promptly, as he said he wanted to only have one allegiance. It is not all bad when the person is a mere cabinet member, but we have never seen someone, British person at that, who also had connections with enslavers by blood, deciding to challenge the Jamaican laws and culture, to sit in parliament as a British citizen trying to become prime minister of Jamaica while while we are here working towards constitutional reform and to be free of British influence. Moreover, Mark Golding is always the person who gridlocks or a move to become a republic. None of this is even disputable. They are the facts. So, why are we trying to tell the people that SHIT spells sugar? Why? No, I am not into that. I am not into that. I threw away the orange already. The biggest thing is with Mark Golding involvement with what happened in the FinSac bailout, which cheated Jamaicans hundreds of millions of US dollars and then rich Golden while people hang themselves. Yes, mhm, he didn't reach Golding while people hang themselves. Yet they are trying to pin Andrew Holness to stealing 400 million Jamaican dollars, which is nothing in comparison after being cleared by a forensic audit, right? He is cleared as innocent, but they are trying to pin him to it. But yet, when they know obviously that Mark Golding did it, they conveniently forget that because Andrew is the thief and the bad guy. These puppets, these traitors, these slaves, all of Andrew Holness money could be accounted for. Yes, but the comrades in the Integrity Commission conceitedly declared that they saw other facts that were no facts at all and that deliberate attempt to defile his reputation. The question is, why would Mark Golding get away with actually being a culprit, but Andrew is tormented in his proven innocence? The only two things I see is one, that he is a black man with a big nose like a black man, which these black Judas is always highlight, and Mark Golding is a white man without a big black man's nose. And remember, most of these people are bleaching to look like Mark Golding. We must be honest now. Our problem has much to do with self-hate than anything else. When you hear all these comments, spew all sort of things, talking about the black man and describing how his nose is big, you know that that's self-hate. The only other difference here, when you view the facts, is that Andrew Holness is JLP and Mark Golding is a comrade, and the people don't care about the truth. It is an awful way that we are, Jamaica. An awful way. PJ Patterson wanted to come back, and the comrades claimed that he was the Fresh Prince and would come and do well for Jamaica. Well, no, most Jamaicans, JLP and comrades alike, see this PJ Patterson as the worst thing that happened to Jamaica. And Mark Golding, the Finchak guy, even though he was never Prime Minister, up there with PJ as the worst that ever happened to this country. What if he was prime minister then? And meanwhile, we watch Mark Golding invest that money over in the Cayman Islands. We try to tell ourselves and others that Mark Golding would do better when he become prime minister. He will not finsack us again, right? Maybe he will not finsack us again. Hmm? And maybe he will not destroy our country again and make us fret that we were going to be worse than Haiti, because that's what happened when Mark Golding and his team was done with us in the 90s. What you ask for, you always receive, and we all know that is true. Most people knew that PJ Patterson was going to F up Jamaica after Michael Manley had to force him to resign for the thief he was. In that same way, every single comrade knows what Mark Golding would do if he ever becomes Prime Minister. Moreover, Golding is already showing his hands. He is more likely to reinstate hospital fees and bring on new taxes to support a pork barrel payment system to control the media by use of bloggers and by using hefty sums from taxpayers. This is what you get when you follow his lead. So if we are screaming about things being expensive and tough life, when Andrew Holness is lessening the tax burden and making us earn more, even giving free houses, I don't care how large or small the sum, for any mathematical equation proves that something is more than nothing. Why would it make sense to vote for someone who already proves you will be taxed, get less pay, and have to go back and buy expensive medicine and pay expensive hospital bills again? Why? Because they strategically use influencers that they promised Funky Bell and Balance, those that sell out like old time prostitutes because they believe they will get something out of a pork barrel politics. Huh? Explain. These people in turn influence the less educated on the streets by talking crap, and sometimes even talking crap to people more intelligent than they, both SHIT spell sugar, because they are so desperate to have their own, selfishly, not realizing that over time they will lose more than they gain, especially because they have children like everyone else. Some of these awful people need to sit down and learn how perpetual motion works. What goes around comes around. We see one vampire coming from St. Vincent to drop words and encourage one side of Jamaicans to wish death on others. He believes that high unaliving rate can be endorsed as a political weapon because he is in politics a long, long time. Huh? Jamaican abhors these evil rhetoric. Leaders that are in power for 25 years are always evil. Always, because they use awful things to stay in power. All they want is power. That's why a man like Gonzalez can come to Jamaica and speak these wicked words. We don't want him here either. Whether you are JLP or PNP, you should never be wishing for people to die in order to win an election. Those that kill themselves, and those that wish death on others also wish it upon themselves. Every single Jamaican has an obligation to help maintain order in their environment. This is how a country should be at peace. Politics must never change that dynamic. Never, 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 never. When you go to other countries, you should mind what you say. Moreover, a regional leader should not go to another Caribbean state to interfere in their politics. People like Gonzalez don't usually like black people anyway. I was in America and I experienced them. So he could easily wish us all dead so his white friend can win the election, because they love to be white even when white people don't like them. We usually get we usually get what we ask for. But sometimes greedy screaming and causing effeminate behavior gets these people so enraged that it blinds them from the truth. Plus, the awe of seeing a white guy who does not have to bleach and his nose no big like a few some way destroys their ability to reason straight. They see nothing to love in black big nose people. Most of them walk around bleaching, hating themselves, and taking it out on their own. Zealous to prove to the white guy that they love him more than the other ones do. Mhm. People, I don't like this. I don't like this. This is not good. And you all must look into yourselves by now. We don't have to argue with your claim that SHIT spells sugar. We don't have to argue about it anymore because we realize that you know what you are doing. You know better. You are only used to a pork barrel, sitting around doing nothing and letting other men feed you like birds, or else you feel justified to steal and commit mayhem, and you will vote for anyone who accommodates lawlessness and laziness. You need to look into yourself as black people and cut it out. That will contribute a lot to the race. You are too easy to sell out. I really have tried hard to understand you all. I thought that most of you were just foolish, but you know that you are telling lies and you do it deliberately. This is not good. It is not good. You did it to Marcus Garvey with Norman Manley, disgracing Marcus for looking out for you by debunking the racist constitution. And with even his son, Michael Manley, you disgrace Marcus again. Who would disrespect Marcus while walking around with his great manifesto to fool you as if he cared? Then he puts out some ideas and corrupts it into no good use, like how he put out the housing trust concept, but only to create garrisons to keep him in power. Michael Manley gives one and takes back two, just like PJ Patterson. Then the foolish comrades jump and say he did this and he did that. When it's people from the JLP who always have to come and fix it. Just like Bruce Golding and now Andrew Holness has done and is doing to the housing trust. The only reason why Andrew Holness is under such serious attack is because you are selfish and evil. It is not even because you care for your other comrades, but you only use them to make up numbers, win the election for Mark Golding, and receive pork barrel benefits. However, do you believe enough will be there to pay all of you? The vloggers alone are promised 1 billion out of poor people's pocket. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.